Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Hello, everybody. We know that you have limited time in your life, and we're glad that you chose to spend a little bit of it with us. Night of the Living podcast.
Honored even.
Where we talk about horror, science fiction, and fantasy. That's Amy over there.
That's me.
The honored one. Andy is here.
I'm grateful. I'm not honored, but I'm grateful.
Good. And I'm Freddy, and I am just trying to keep it together. One day at a time, y'all. Quick note to our listener, Angela Jones, you won our raffle for selecting the next main attraction. So I just need that answer by Friday. Otherwise we go with an alternate route. But Angela, if you hear us, Angela Jones, Miss Angela Jones, we're going to talk about Longlegs later because the theme is psychological horror. Why Longlegs is considered a psychological horror is because Amy Googled it.
I Googled it. And I said psychological horror movies. And it came up.
And Google is always right.
That's how I got my pick, too.
That's how it's categorized.
Thank you, AI.
If it weren't for Google, this month wouldn't exist at all.
If it weren't for Google, so many things wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
What did we ever do without Google?
You know, for all of its evils, it's kind of a fun tool if you're into deep dives on any topic.
Right.
It's like having all of the libraries of the worlds at your fingertips. It's this really though, seriously, I'm starting to understand what psychological horror is finally after watching movies intently looking for what it is. But what makes this one is because it prioritizes the suffocating atmosphere of dread, paranoia, and mental anguish. And it doesn't have a bunch of jump scares. That's kind of the deal.
So psychological horror, it prioritizes
Atmosphere
for sure.
Paranoia.
Yes.
And mental anguish.
Okay.
Those are the things.
In other words, horror.
Right.
But it's very much on the dial of horror. You know what I'm saying? Like on a radio dial, if you had a whole genre on the radio dial, this is somewhere closer to your alt rock stations and less close to your American top 40.
Yeah. I mean, I can't be too picky about it because I think psychological horror it's not the best defined genre.
It's true. It's vague. And I think the only thing that's going to make it more specific is more films and time and critics.
It's very subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a young genre, maybe?
No, I don't think it's young. I think it's been around forever, but I'm just saying
it hadn't been codified.
As a genre,
right.
It is maybe not drawn with a Sharpie. Maybe it's drawn with a pencil.
See how often we have to rely on metaphor to talk about these
Do you
movies.
see?
That says something about them too. But we were talking before the show. Oh, by the way, Patreon supporters, bless you. We couldn't do this without you. The new Scarecrow Oven t-shirts and other merch, just fucking cool as hell. Pardon my French. And you'll be seeing that throughout the year in your mailbox. But also all this extra stuff like Origins. Amy, you just did an Origins about, I can't remember what.
It was Hispanic Heritage Month, and the movie was The Living Coffin from 2013. This episode is from. But you can get that over at our Patreon.
Also at Patreon, ad-free versions of this show and Zoned Out, the Twilight Zone Revisited, where we are talking about, I can't remember what this week.
So glad you brought it up.
100 Yards Over the Rim, maybe. But anyways, if you like the Twilight Zone, the Rim.
Oh.
The Rim. Is a good one.
Giggle.
They're all good still. All the Twilight Zones at this point in the series are all kind of good. Even the worst of them are pretty good. So anyways, if you're in the Twilight Zone, check that out. Andy, you went to a pretty cool art exhibit on Valentine's Day. Do you want to tell us about it?
I'm fancy. I went to a museum. But I went to the museum to see Mad Magazine.
Right.
So, I'm not that cultured.
Hey, man, that's the height of culture.
What, me worry?
No, it's an exhibit about Mad Magazine, and there's had a bunch of old artwork and covers. It's really fun. I mean, what else can I say?
It's at the Cincinnati Art Museum. Is that correct? Did you say that?
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun to see so many, like all the pop culture things that they've skewered. Skewered? Is that what it is called?
Yeah.
Skewered? And just a time capsule of all these old things that were popular back in the day.
Have you seen the documentary they made about Mad Magazine that came out recently?
I don't know. Where is that? Is it streaming anywhere?
I think it's on Hulu. I'm going to look for you real quick so I can see. The Mad Magazine documentary is called When We Went Mad. Came out last year. And I don't know where it's streaming, but
Okay.
I recommend it if you can find it. When We Went Mad.
Yeah.
And it's real interesting stuff.
Yeah. The only thing I was disappointed is that they didn't have they just had a VHS copy of Mad TV, and that was like the only reference to Mad TV.
Oh, really?
And I kind of wish they touched on that a little more because
I mean, what's so hard about putting a monitor up and playing clips?
Yeah. Talk about a time capsule.
Yeah. Where maybe that's why they didn't play clips, because some of their stuff is not, kosher today, really. They like to push the envelope on Mad TV.
They sure did.
And if you're wondering, like, horror does have a major connection to Mad Magazine because it's EC Comics, the creators of Tales from the Crypt. It's all the same company. So there you go. There's your horror connection. If you're squirming and you wonder, like, I didn't come here for comic bookery, silliness, funny magazines.
Bookery?
I love your pictures where you're dressed, where you had the gap, the Alfred E. Newman gap in your teeth, and you do it up.
If you consider that doing it up, but yes, I blacked out one of my teeth, my tooths.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Your twofers.
You take waterproof eyeliner, open your mouth really wide, draw your tooth until it squeaks. You know that sound.
Gotcha.
So when you hear the squeak sound, that's when you stop drawing your tooth, and then you paint the liquid eyeliner on. But you got to make sure it's waterproof.
But even then,
it doesn't stand up very well to your saliva.
Oh yes,
but it held up enough for me to get a picture.
I remember when we were kids, I feel like somebody did that with shoe polish, and I'm like, that'll make you sick. Ugh. Won't it make you sick? Anywho, it's not important.
I wonder if you can buy something on Amazon to do that. Because you can buy one of everything.
I'm sure there's like a sleeve, a black sleeve you can put over your teeth or something that's reusable.
Or like theater grade makeup that that stains your teeth.
Or knock it out. Just knock the tooth out.
Yeah.
Commit to the bit.
Come on.
Yeah. I need up my dedication to the cosplay by knocking out a tooth.
Speaking of knocking out teeth, Amy and I have been playing a Baldur's Gate 3 game together cooperatively. Separate. Yes. We've been playing a couple of Baldur's Gate. I mean, let's be real.
We're like nerding it up hardcore lately.
Baldur's Gate 3 is pretty amazing. But we got our asses handed to us over and over again last night.
It's this one battle. I'm not going to say what it is because then somebody's going to make fun of me for where it's at.
Yeah.
You should know better by now or whatever.
We're on like our 4th try, I think.
No, man.
More?
We're probably on 6.
Oh, okay. But
do you have to do this mission? Can you just skip it?
Well, you could try to skirt around it, but you need the experience points to get your characters up in level to be ready for the next thing. Yeah, so anytime you skip a fight, you got to find like a clever way where you still get experience, like diplomacy or something. We haven't tried diplomacy yet.
You need to get to the bookstore and look up the How to Beat It on the latest issue of Nintendo Power.
Yep. You got to call they had a hotline. Remember that? You could call it. It was like a 1-900 number and they'd help you beat Zelda or what have you.
That seems like a scam.
I don't know that they charged for it.
Oh, it was.
Well, a 900 number, I
can't remember.
That's a pay number.
Well, not always, right? Didn't they have an alternative?
That's why 1-800 was such a big deal because it was toll free.
Yeah, but I thought there was another 999 that could be free or something. But anyways, it was I think it might have. I don't know if it was free or not. It's a long ass time ago. That's like
because anybody would call
40 years ago now or something.
And they can't take the call of every struggling video gamer.
Right.
Yeah.
They got to put some brakes on it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Charge for it.
You're probably not wrong.
They have to charge because all the milkshakes,
Oh.
all the yards.
Well, I wish you luck on your future missions, and I hope you beat this monster or whatever you're battling.
I'm hoping we can do it. Maybe tonight even. Who knows? We'll see.
We got tonight.
You want to talk about the movie?
Yes, we can move on.
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction.
This week's main attraction is Longlegs. Sexy long legs. Nope.
His legs weren't even that long.
Produced by Nicolas Cage, of course, his company, Saturn Films, who brought us National Treasure, those films, Willy's Wonderland, the Wicker Man remake. It premiered at the Beyond Fest May 31st, 2024, and then theatrically July of that year. This is the fourth of 6 features directed by Osgood Perkins, Anthony Perkins' son. Anthony Perkins' son. Wouldn't that be funny? I really am your father, Anthony Hopkins.
And the heir to the Perkins restaurant fortune.
Oh, yes. Couldn't
all the
forget
pie
that.
recipes.
Damn, those are good pies.
Yeah, they did have good pies.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they were akin to Frisch's, a Big Boy, what have you. But they made more
A
different
Denny's?
kinds of pies. Yeah, like a Denny's, only with a lot
With
more
pie.
pie. Yeah, the pie was the only really good thing at Perkins. Everything else is kind of yeah. Anywho, Osgood Perkins, he started his screenwriting career writing a movie called Removal. It has Billy Burke in it, and he plays a cleaner who is cleaning like a scary old mansion or something like that. I haven't seen it. But he also has writing credits and frequently acts in his films, in addition to directing. So his next movie's The Young People that's coming out, I'm really interested in. It's, I think his usual style, but it has some really interesting casts, like Heather Graham and Nicole Kidman are in it.
They're not young.
I know. I'm wondering. I'm wondering what the
Busted.
significance of the title is, because I looked at everybody in the cast is like our age or a little older. That I recognize. I think Johnny Knoxville's in it. So that's
Who?
Well, it's nice to see Heather Graham getting her name out there more.
Right.
yeah, she's having a renaissance in genre stuff, especially.
Who put Nicole Kidman and Johnny Knoxville in a movie together?
Osgood Perkins. His career in film started. He was young Norman in Psycho 2, playing his dad's younger self, and his dad and his mom figure mightily into Longlegs. On September 11th, in the attacks, his mother, Barry Berenson, was on board Flight 11, so she died in that, which is wild.
I just learned that today. I had no idea.
And as far as his influences, he cites Stanley Kubrick and Tim Burton. Rosemary's Baby, which if you look at the poster, one of the posters for this is a recreation of Mia Farrow with her hands over her mouth when she sees Rosemary's Baby for the first time. They recreate that with Micah Monroe on one of the posters, except in her poster she's doing that, but she also has a fucking 9mm, which Mia Farrow did not have.
What?
That's new.
I see.
If Mia Farrow just shot the baby, wow, totally different movie.
Powerful.
I know, powerful stuff. Other inspirations for the film included the murder of Jean-Benet Ramsey. I thought that was wild. That specifically was one of his inspirations, but also his mother's part in hiding his father's closeted life as a gay man. So there's like parallels to the mother character in the movie that are supposed to be his mother, but Longlegs is also supposed to be his mother. That fucked up.
So, Anthony Perkins' sexuality is represented by Longlegs hiding in the basement.
I think that might be it. But definitely Ruth for sure. That whole keeping the secret thing. He had a quote, Osgood Perkins did. It said, your mother can protect you from a truth that she thinks is unsavory, and then you just build out a crazy movie around that. I like he doesn't put on airs about there being like any deep, honest, like true definition to the stuff he's doing. He's like, no, it's just kind of weird. I don't want it to be vague, so you let your imagination fill in the blanks, you know?
You know, that infuriates me.
Yeah. But this movie rewards you for it on subsequent viewings in a really satisfying way. If you have the patience. The score is his brother, Elvis Perkins, but he's performing as Zilgi, I think is how he pronounces it. And music is really important to the story because Longlegs was a musician before he was a doll maker and a killer. And he's obsessed with glam. He was a glam rocker, apparently. I had to do digging to find this.
Where'd you learn? Yeah, like if it's not on screen, how do you know all this?
Because the marketing campaign for the movie, they did a Blair Witch thing where they released all this other content leading up to its release that filled in all these blanks.
But you got to give us something to work on, to go off on the movie.
We don't have to.
I mean, like, it's interesting backstory, but I never got that from watching this. Maybe his car and his clothing, but that's it.
You don't need to know it for the movie to work. It's just something that's like one of those little fun things that when you like, you know, when you think about like that first Nightmare on Elm Street movie, all that lore about Freddy Krueger didn't exist until subsequent movies because people were obsessively like why and who and keep digging down and making things up. I think he got in front of that and kind of made up these things in partnership with the promotional team to create this kind of pre-release buzz among people who are into decoding shit on the internet. Fozzie, I'm looking at you with Cloverfield.
Yes.
So the quote from Bang a Gong opens it, which is the only clue of Longlegs being a rocker kind of character, is that and his screechy singing throughout the movie. We open set 1974 Oregon, and all these flashbacks are shot in square frames, like home movies from that era.
Well, they don't tell you what year it is. So
yeah, it comes up on screen, 1974. Yeah, pretty sure.
It's in the room.
And then 20 years later, I'm pretty sure.
Because I didn't get that was supposed to be her when she was a little girl till later.
Oh, okay.
But I can just glean that it was in the past by the way that the little girl looked.
Oh, see, I
So,
worked
like, I
The
didn't-
wardrobe.
close of attention.
Yeah,
yes.
I did, and I didn't need necessarily to be told that it's in the 70s or 80s. Like, just looking at her, I can tell.
You can trust me.
And it has that like the past kind of has like that grainy film quality, like you're watching a home movie too.
Yeah, every time it switches back, it goes from that little cramped frame to the cinemascope or widescreen, whatever. In the opening, she a young Lee meets Longlegs on a snowy January day, and she takes his picture with her little Polaroid camera. We saw this in the theater together. Me and Andy did. And I remember going, ugh, when they first showed Longlegs. Do you remember the first impression you had on this, Andy?
Like, I was excited because the trailer is like really interesting, but I think the trailers didn't live up to the movie for me, at least.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was mortified and disgusted by him. Like I was just like, ugh. First, I wasn't 100% sure it was Nicolas Cage at that point. In hindsight, like it's all very obvious once you watch it 3 times. But when I first saw it, I didn't realize it was him.
The makeup does a great job of disguising him.
And that's part of his backstory. Like if you do the digging with all the supplemental shit that's out there, and it's interesting, is that the story is supposedly he became a glam rocker in like maybe the late 60s, early 70s, and discovered Satanism as part of that. And throughout that time, he kept getting plastic surgeries done. And that's why his face is that way until his career kind of ended and he got crazier and crazier with the satanic shit involved with this cult in the Pacific Northwest, and that he started channeling the devil directly, like at some point. So I kind of love that backstory. I think it really
or
flavors
is it more
it
fun
up.
to have no backstory given to you?
They didn't, but that's why I like that they didn't give it to you. It's optional. You can take it or leave it. You know what I mean?
But I'm feeling cold by you reading this off. It doesn't do anything for me.
The
So maybe
what?
it was better for them to not put it in the film.
Oh, the actual. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think it's better not for it not to be in the film, but there's clues there. Like some of the singing stuff throughout, and the music he listens to is specifically from that era of glam rock and everything. But yeah, you could just say it's Buffalo Bill too. You could go either way, you know, because it leaves so much to your imagination. So we flash forward to 1994, still in Oregon, only now we're in widescreen, and we're in an FBI briefing room with some really dark paneling and really red carpeting. It's a weird
And
room.
a big old portrait of Bill Clinton. So you're like, okay, I know what time.
That helps orient you, yeah.
Well, it's funny you bring up the dark paneling and the dark lighting, because that's one of the things that kind of, on the second watch, bothered me about this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody in this movie is afraid of lighting.
Yes. Turn on a fucking light. And why does everything have to be like 1 20-watt bulb?
Because
if
it's
you do have a light.
that makes it psychological horror.
Yeah,
It has to be dark and atmospheric. If you light everything too much, it loses one of those things that make it part of the genre.
It doesn't have to be literally dark to make it psychological horror.
Well, if you could find atmosphere in bright light too, right? Like in a really sterile environment, but I don't think you can find a lot in between. If you're too subtle, you lose your atmosphere. I think you either go like blown
No,
out,
like-
sanitary to be creepy, or you go kind of dark.
Like Midsummer and Jaws, that was like bright light.
Right? Yeah.
You can still do it, but that's this movie doesn't trust the audience to feel something. It is telling you how to feel all the time.
Okay, I don't agree with you on that, but I think I understand what you're feeling. Because to me, I think I had 3 very different experiences on the 3 viewings. So to me, that tells me I wasn't being led around emotionally too much. Because,
What was your first
you know,
experience in one word?
disappointing?
What was your second experience in one word?
Intrigued,
And your third experience in one word?
obsessed.
Uh-oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I get deeper into it every time.
It's funny because you have the opposite reaction that I did, because I liked it well enough the first time I saw it. I was disappointed, but on the second viewing, I didn't like this movie and less now.
Yeah. I think it's the 2 things where I picked up on a few things I really liked the first time. And when we get to the ending, I hated the ending the first time, if I remember right. And now I think about it completely differently. And I think a lot of it has to do with, I just like the little flavors of this movie more so than, it's not really a story movie or a plot movie for me. Even though there is one there, I think they challenge you to find it sometimes. Well, it kicks off with, this is what another thing I didn't get. And every time I learned something a little different until I finally started going to the source and interviews with the director. And then I found real answers to some of this stuff. But it starts on a sweep in this subdivision, which is kind of a weird little subdivision after the briefing, where they're telling all the rookie FBI agents, you're going to go out and do the busy work, which is canvassing.
Right.
And they go out into this subdivision where her and her rookie partner, Fisk, they're 2 newbies out alone for the first time. And they're going to go door to door, but she spots a house with like 3, what are those called? Gables? There's 3 gables on this house, and she has a feeling about it. And it leads to, the partner doesn't believe her because he's like, not our first time out. We're not going to call him back up, our first stop. And
She's like, no, it's here.
yeah, she feels
He's
confident that somebody's there. Dude, and they don't even explain who they're looking for at this point in the movie. So the whole Longlegs thing hasn't even happened yet,
Right.
the connection to her FBI career. So we haven't connected the little girl in the beginning to Agent Harker yet. But through this canvassing and her partner being killed for knocking on that door and her discovering one of the victims of Longlegs in this house. Also, the house was like draped in plastic inside, like they were renovating it, maybe?
Yeah, that's the impression I got.
Yeah, and for a moment, you kind of think maybe is this part? The first time we watched it in the theater, Andy, I thought that the plastic was part of the killing thing, and that it was all laid out.
I thought it was like a Dexter type thing, where like he's protecting it from blood, from it getting everywhere.
Yeah, and it's really a red herring. It's like it's a MacGuffin or a red herring, whatever you want to call it, because that's not at all. It could be the family just maybe even moved into the neighborhood and they just hadn't finished, putting the place together or whatever. But they want you to think that maybe this guy is a serial killer and that's why there's plastic everywhere. Because it's a misdirection. Turns himself over like without any kind of fight or anything to the police because whatever he set out to do is done, which is kind of chilling. Amy and I watch a lot of true crime videos, so we see all these family annihilators and stuff.
So is the insinuation then that Longlegs, this is one of Longlegs' acolytes?
Yeah.
And that this was all planned from the beginning to get Agent Harker involved?
Well, no, she was always involved to an extent because what happens is when he makes those dolls and he puts the little metal brain in them, it controls that person's entire family once he gives it to them in some respect. What it does with the kids is, and what it did with her is it's telling her where to go. The mother kind of reveals this in some dialogue in the third act, that the ball is basically the devil's way of telling her what to see, what to forget. The whole time where they play her as almost autistic or she's always slightly distracted in her performance.
And she has like this almost supernatural intuition, and I think that's why the FBI recruits her to.
Well, it's not why they recruited her, because they don't discover it until this incident when her partner.
That's what I'm saying. Like they recruit her to get onto the Longlegs case.
Yeah, they move her over. Yeah,
after like she like they find out that she has this, intuition in her, and they do that test on her.
But it's not true. She's not psychic. She's being told things by the devil. So it's not that she's.
Oh shit, she's not psychic.
No, the only reason she has these powers at all is the doll.
I think you got to stop confusing me with the stuff you learned offline because
Well, no, this is
I'm
all
mad
in the
that
movie. I don't even have to leave the movie to know this stuff. It's all in the dialogue. You can draw these conclusions when you watch it 2 times. When you watch it the second time, you pick up that the mom is telling her all these things.
All right.
She wants her to remember them, but she can't tell her because she knows Longlegs will kill her. So she tells her, "I have all of your things" in the second act, and that's her telling their daughter about all the truth about the stuff that's happening. But and Andy, you saying them not trusting the audience surprised me because that's why I disagree with you on that point so much. Is because they don't spell this stuff out. You really do have to mine for these details if you want them.
He was talking about how you feel.
Yeah, not because of the plot.
Oh, you meant just emotionally. I got you. Because of the lighting and stuff is what you meant.
The lighting and all these like horror tropes, like with the satanic stuff and the dolls and the way that people talk especially Longlegs and all his victims. They talk in that creepy sing-song gibberish.
Yeah. So you would like less creepy
stuff.
Like, you think the creepiness is heavy-handed, maybe?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a little too on the nose. Like, this is scary. Like, I know it's a horror movie.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're laying down now.
Yeah, but I know that's not Osgood Perkins' style. He's not like a subtle director. Even though Black Coat's Daughter, I feel, is his strongest movie because it is the most subtle.
Yeah, I feel like it goes. They pair really well, that and this. Because they're both about Satanism and stuff.
Yeah, but just the approaches of the movies are I think like 180s from each other.
Yeah, this one's way more mainstream than Black Coat's Daughter, I think, for sure. This is more like what you expect out of like Silence of the Lambs or something, or Seven. One which I guess weren't really mainstream when they came out, but those are definitely like mainstream kind of vibes now. Criminal Minds
That's why.
reminds me of that a
That's why,
little bit.
but those movies you can definitely tell are very influences on this one.
Oh, hugely. So after her partner's killed, they're back at the FBI, and she's in a dark room being tested with all these images and a slideshow, and that's because they
Testing her
suspect
psychic abilities.
Yeah, and there's more details in there if you want the flavor. All the images do kind of mean something to the story in one way or another, but it's kind of fun to discover some of that stuff on your own when you're watching it. So they've determined that they're pretty sure she has a 50-50 shot of maybe being a clairvoyant. And like Andy was saying, they had recruiter for the Longlegs case. And that's kind of the end of because this movie's told in 3 parts. The first one's his letters. And once she's recruited to the case, she gets these scenes where she's working the case. And that's Carter's office where he has the big murder board. I love a murder board. It's so fun. I wish they had even gotten into it
for a
more.
reason.
Yeah. I know they're used in real life for real tragic cases and stuff, but like I'm looking at this movie like it's a video game or something.
She was missing the thumbtacks and string connecting the thumbtacks together.
Yes.
Yeah, I needed more of that. Yeah, so
and not one eating scene. She didn't eat once except the cereal. She needs Chinese takeout at one time at some point.
Oh yeah,
You call yourself an FBI agent?
Yeah, I didn't think about that, Andy. You're right. That's that's one of the good tropes. We got to have her eating a hot dog on the street or something.
One of those takeout coffee cups.
She doesn't drink either. Like, because there's a scene when she's starting to get to know Carter. That's Blair Underwood, right?
Yeah.
His character. She's starting to get to know him. They have this scene where they go to a hotel bar, and which is also super dark and has wood everywhere. And this is
and speaking of Blair,
yeah.
Real quick, speaking of Blair Underwood, damn, he's looking good for being.
Yeah, he's a handsome dude.
He's probably in the
handsome.
60s,
Yeah.
but he's looking good.
Yeah, he started working at Busch Gardens as an entertainer at one of the amusement parks, and then Broadway. God, he's been all over the place. And in Andy's dreams. Yeah, so the hotel bar scene, you get to know her a little bit more, and it kind of doubles down on her being a weirdo. She's not social, but at this point, I've seen this character type in other shows. We watched the series where it was the autistic police detective, and she just wanted to she was having sex on her own terms and real transactional with her relationships on the show. I can't remember what it's called. It was a good show. I think it was Diane Kruger maybe played her.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You think that's the direction they're going with this character if you're steeped in this genre of storytelling. But again, when you find out it's really because she's constantly distracted by this satanic mind control shit, really reframes the whole movie for me, because she has this whole conversation with him. He says, "Come to my house and meet my family." And there's this creepy scene with Carter's daughter, Ruby, where she comes in and meets the family, and Ruby's like, "Do you want to see my room?" And Ruby has these trophies, and one of them doesn't have a fucking head on it. Why is that? That's weird.
She could have dropped it.
Yeah.
Head came off.
Yeah. I mean, it's another one of those
popped
things
off.
that's just creepy. It's just creepy in the context of it. And that whole scene, after you've seen the movie once and you know how the movie ends, spoilers, we always spoil this stuff, but that little girl is doomed in some way, if not to death. She's going to lose her parents.
Right.
That's like a heavy ass scene. So they close that out, and Harker, this is where that first part wraps up, is where she goes to her remote cabin she lives in. Again, dark wood.
Is there something
all around
to Lee Harper Lee?
Maybe.
Or is this like Jonathan Harker from Dracula? What's the significance of the name?
I feel like you're closer with the second guess. Be my guess.
I'm not sure how it would be germane to the story, though.
This
of
is
the
the
movie.
Cheerio scene, isn't it? Where she eats Cheerios, Andy?
Yeah.
The one time she was eating.
She's this is the point where in the theater I was like, oh, I'm on board, and I was really feeling it, the spookiness of it. But also this is the scene that sets up all the things that were disappointing to me the first time. But now I kind of understand and appreciate better. But she's eating the Cheerios. She gets a call from her mom. This is the first time we hear her mom, Ruth, on the phone, Leisha Witt. I read while looking at this, apparently her parents were some sort of hoarders as well.
That's a sad story.
Yeah, it's so sad. And they froze to death or something.
I remember when it was in the news.
Yeah, it's so awful. And that was before they made this movie. Like, so she's playing a character kind of like that in this, which is nuts when we get to finally see her. Because at this point, she's just a voice on the phone. And she says kind of a creepy thing. She asked her if she's been saying her prayers. That's what it was. I couldn't remember. I mean, that's kind of cute at first. Yeah, Andy?
But like another thing I found, like one of the things I liked is how every time like they talk on the phone, she's always like Lee. And, like she asks, her daughter visit her.
Even though that's her only child.
Because it could be the
like,
devil. Yeah.
Yeah, and Lee's always like, it's still just me, Mom. So I like those little, breadcrumbs that they're giving us.
Yeah.
But it was, I think they handled her character a little too like broken and crazy.
Ruth.
And the way she talked, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, she's talking like she's Nell or something.
Ruth doesn't sound like Nell. Nell's a bridge too far.
But you know what I mean? That's just like that. That's just non sequiturs and like that almost like baby talk.
I feel like
I think
Kieran and Shipka's character talks more like Nell or Slingblade than Ruth does
like
when we get to her.
I mean, they're definitely on the same tree but different branches.
What did she say? Chickapaw. I can't remember. Yeah. That's so funny. There are some weird choices. Like, well, it's if anybody's gonna give their blessing to weird acting choices, it's gonna be a production company that's owned by Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I feel like he would encourage people to be as weird as they want to be in anything that he's involved in. Yeah. So the remote cabin scene, she's having a kind of normal time, but she hears a sound outside and it's like, Mom, I'll call you back. And this is her first adult encounter with Longlegs. She is out looking to see what the sound came from. In the meantime, Longlegs sneaks into her cabin and leaves a birthday card for her on the desk she was working on next to the Cheerios she was eating.
Okay, but how? Does he have these like supernatural Nightcrawler abilities where he can jump spaces?
What do you mean?
Well, because she sees him go into the house, but she follows.
Yeah.
But she never encounters him again in the house. Like he had to leave the same way he came in.
The orb can make things disappear too. Like it makes her see what it wants her to see. The mom explains it in the third part.
I think the movie was way too subtle on that.
Yeah.
Way too fucking subtle on that.
It can make her forget. Like, and that's kind of part of, when we get into the very end, there's kind of all the repercussions and then loose ends.
This is when she decodes his code.
Yeah.
He's been writing letters with this code in it.
Very Zodiac.
Very Zodiac.
Yeah.
So she's the smart one and figures it out based on her birthday card had a clue in it.
And there's a new crime scene like the very next, or not. It's that same morning probably. Yeah, she gets the birthday card, right? She gets the call about a new crime scene. I'm sorry, Andy, were you about to say something?
No, it's like, is she smart or is she being controlled and being told what to find?
She's being told what to find. Everything that she there's some of it's whatever normal human detective abilities she has. There's that, but then there's the part of it that Satan is deliberately directing her to find books and clues and telling her if he doesn't want her to remember something, he can wipe it from her memory. So she's being manipulated the entire time.
But why?
The reason she's being manipulated, Oh, it's
Like-
it's the deal that her mom made with Longlegs. It's all wrapped up in that.
Okay, well, I'll bring it up. We're going like they find another crime scene.
The grossest
And
one to
this
date.
is, yeah. hmm
Another dead family, but this family's been sitting there rotten for a month. They
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, for a month because everyone thought they were on vacation. And there's a cat in a cat carrier, which is just
The
insinuates
cat would be dead.
not if it was eating stuff.
It
Like,
had to have been
It
eating
was
stuff.
probably eating the mom and dad and the kid.
Yeah.
But it also still recognizes that there's something off about Lee because it hisses at her. Because it knows that she's an agent of Satan. And I stand by that. That cat
Okay.
knows.
That's
Cat
what the
knows.
internet says.
No, that's what Osgood Perkins very open about a lot of this shit. You can get a lot of this from panels and stuff and interviews with him. If not him saying it, him confirming people's theories. So after this crime scene, we get back on the phone with Ruth. This is the all your things part of the movie, the story. Where now we're back. She's on a payphone at the FBI, and now the mom asks again, "Are you saying your prayers?" And she says, "Our prayers protect us from the devil." And okay, yeah, it's so weird. It feels like a real mom conversation, though. At the same time, I listen to a lot of Amy's conversations with her mom.
We talk about the devil a lot.
It's not necessarily that, but it could be anything,
The devil being devil.
Amy. Amy, are you being controlled by the devil? You don't know about it?
She might be.
When I was a kid, I did have a life-size doll of myself. It had a spectacularly heavy head.
So she talks at this point. You don't know how important Ruth is to the grand scheme of this story at this point. You think this is just her doing her daughterly duty and checking in with her mom, and that she might be there for flavor. At least that's my feeling the first time I watched it. I certainly didn't expect what was to come.
Yeah, you had no. Yes.
So we cut to the library scene where this is where the bulk of her research is done, and she really gets to the flavoring of the story. Again, this is just atmosphere stuff. None of it's really important. It doesn't need to be in the movie. But the idea of her being alone in this library, doing additional research and doing more decoding, it just adds more atmosphere and flavor to get us to the next part, which is the camera farm. Because she has made the connection.
I don't like having a last name Camera.
It's weird. I thought so too.
Anyway, it bothered me.
So the importance of the camera farm is that it is the only one
The only
that had
survivor.
a survivor. And they go there, and it reminded me a lot of The Ring at this point. I don't know about you guys, but did you get Ring vibes?
I mean, they both have a barn.
Well, where they have to go up into that same crawl space kind of hayloft area, and there's something there that shouldn't be there, like this cross on the floor.
I don't know how the FBI missed this.
Seriously.
It's a good question. Although, I don't know. I mean, like, it's just a cross. You think they should have known to pull it away?
It's odd.
I mean,
It's weird that it's on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I feel like I would want to know why it's there. I would at least ask questions. It'd be in the file, right, Andy? At least in the file, police file.
Yeah.
But they find it, they open it, and Blair Underwood reveals inside a doll that looks just like the camera daughter, Kiernan Chipka.
Correct.
And but younger, little girl version of her, because it's been 10 years or something. And they take it into the FBI coroner's office, who is a weird guy. But when you see it, when you realize why he's being weird the second time you see it, you're like, oh, this guy he's kind of seems to be enamored of the doll. And he calls the ball they took out of its head the brain, and even does a sonogram on it where you hear not screeching, but like a high pitched tone. But the thing that's really strange is he tells him it's empty, and he kind of tries to, at the same time marveling at it making this sound, he kind of tries to say, it's nothing. Just ignore it. Even though obviously it's something very important. And he says he hears his wife, his ex-wife, her voice or something in his head.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Because all the MO of Longlegs is he makes fathers kill their families. And the next best thing for this coroner character who is handling this object is his ex-wife, of course, was the first thing he thought of, because that's what it wants him to do, is go kill her.
Okay.
And that's kind of why he's a little weird too, I think. Is because he's also under the influence
the
of
ball.
That's why she's weird. Lee
It's all
is
about
weird.
the fucking ball.
Lee's weird because she's still under the influence of a ball. The coroner's weird because he's under the influence of the ball. And it supports it in the third act when you get back to
all these balls.
Carter's family, the way they act, because they're under the balls. When you're under the balls.
So, just a word of warning: if you buy a doll or you get a doll as a present, just make sure to check its head for silver devil balls.
It's a devil ball.
That also kind of, I was like, oh, Phantasm. The first time we saw it, I was like, good God, let this be an underground or backdoor Phantasm sequel. And that's another reason the first time I was like, wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Now I appreciate it more, but it wasn't Phantasm the first time, so fuck it. Longlegs' lair after the coroner's office. This is a flashback. It's in the little square frame, is how you know that. And if I forget, the first time we watched this, I knew he was doing something, but I forgot, and it made it more confusing. But if you ever feel disoriented watching this movie, just know if it's in widescreen, it's present day. If it's in square, it's a flashback. Any old movie would have done that in black and white instead. But we're trying to do fresh things, I guess. And that's one of the fresh things. And I think it's pretty good. It works. The flashbacks to his lair, in which we later learn is Ruth's basement. He's just finishing up Carrie Ann's doll. So I guess this is 10 years earlier.
He's been living in Ruth's basement? Did I know that?
Yeah, the whole time.
That was the whole reveal.
Yeah, that was the third act. Was revealing he lived under the house.
I promise you I watched this.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's confusing.
There's a scene where Lee visits her mom, and she's fixing for her mom to eat in the kitchen, and she just keeps glancing at the
basement door.
The basement door. Yeah,
right.
so and you can see light shine coming from underneath it, but she never goes down there. So it suggested that there's something that she knows that something, but at the same time, I'm like, she's never been in the basement the whole time. The ball prevents it. I know it's a cop out. It is a fucking cop out. It's a total cop out, but it explains everything, every loose end. I made a list of loose ends when I finished the second viewing of this, and I'm like, God, there's a lot of loose ends here. Yeah. So I guess everything can be explained away by the ball.
Unfortunately, yeah. I would like a little more myself too. So I'm with you on that, but the ball does explain a lot. In the flashback, the devil or whoever I think it's the devil, the kind of Darth Maul looking character under the black shroud. You just see the red eyes, which reminded me of Insidious too a little bit. Only this is only darker, but it works. I'm not saying I don't like that part. I do like it. Or it could have been Ruth under there. I don't know if Ruth looks like that when she's under the influence of Longlegs, if she changes.
It was almost like a skull fit, a skull.
It was scary.
I don't think it was Ruth.
So we cut from this flashback back to present day, and there's a hardware store, and Osgood Perkins' daughter plays the cashier, which I thought was fun. And this reminded me of. I'm sorry, Andy. Go ahead.
Didn't even know he had a daughter and a wife or something.
He has 2 kids. This one, Beatrix. I don't know the other one's name, but I think he has a son too. So this character reminded me a little bit of the pharmacist's daughter from It, because I love this. Yeah, it's just kind of like a
She's
teenager.
A cool girl, just ennui.
Yeah, ennui. That's exactly teenage ennui, man. And she was really good. She did a good job. Longlegs comes up to the register with, it looks like he's carrying earplugs, and I don't know.
Earplugs and something else. I can't remember.
Yeah, you thought it was earplugs too.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I thought that's what those were. And God only knows. And he does the cuckoo thing, which I read. This is another thing. Do you know what cuckooing is? This is a fan theory part. This is something that's off the internet. But cuckooing is what happened in the movie Parasite, where someone lives in your home without you knowing about it. And he says throughout the movie, he says cuckoo a lot. And this is one of the times he does it, where he's talking to this cashier and he's saying cuckoo. And then he does the weird thing with his hands over his eyes, which is something that Nicolas Cage based on his mother. Apparently his mother had some mental health issues and would talk to him in really strange ways sometimes.
Apparently everybody has mommy issues.
Yeah. And there's a lot being worked out here for everyone. And she's like the weird guy's back again. And I think one of the reasons, besides just kind of being like kind of a tense moment with him out in public, but it sets up him ultimately surrendering because he is seen in public. And it kind of gives you an idea, if you're a picky story person, you're like, well, how'd they find him? It's probably because of her they find him. Because, and we'll get to the Polaroid. That's after the Polaroid's later. That's ultimately how they do start the manhunt. But the mental hospital, this is straight Silence of the Lambs to me, where they sit and talk with the guy who runs the mental hospital.
Yeah, this guy's a lot more flamboyant, but it's the same character.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard the word zesty in your voice when he came on screen this time I was watching it. I was like, Andy would describe this man as zesty.
He explains that the hospital does not require identification from people who come and visit, which is just insane to me.
And the reason why they asked that was because Lee's name is in the guest registry.
But we know it was Longlegs.
Yeah. Or it could have been,
name.
It could have also been Lee, and he could have wiped her memory of going there the first
With
time.
the ball!
And what supports that is when she talks to, when we get to Kiernan Shipka's character, she says something that backs that up.
I did like in the log, it was all these regular spelled names, but Lee Harker is spelled in giant letters to remind you that somebody was there with her name. Okay,
we
get it.
Dude, as a dummy, I appreciate that. As a guy who this movie made me work enough. If it had also made Lee's name small on top of making me work so hard to understand everything that happened, I would resent it. I would actively resent it at that point, I think. Thankfully, still recognize it's a movie when you're hiding clues.
Well, here's the thing. For me, it spoon-fed me a lot of things, but didn't give me... I didn't feel fulfilled from the spoon-feeding because there were so many questions.
Well, that's what I said. Lots of
went unanswered. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Unfulfilled. That is correct.
So it's a movie that makes you return looking for the fulfillment if you're me. But other people would just write it off, I think, which is totally justifiable and
within our rights. I know my rights.
Life's too short. So yeah, she has the interview with. Does she meet? Yeah, she meets her on this trip.
Yeah.
She talks to Kiernan Shipka the same day that she meets the guy who runs the place. And they have the conversation where she says someone that looked just like her visited her before. And I'm like, oh, was it her? Was it her mom? Her mom doesn't look that much like her. Like, I'm wondering if, what the meaning of that line was for sure.
Or it could just be kooky talk.
It could just be kooky talk.
Just the way that she was talking was just a little too on the nose, like, oh, she crazy.
Well, she was doing more of the Nell thing you were describing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She's definitely more Nell than the mom, but the mom is still Nellish.
It's a little Nell.
They out here Nellin'.
If you haven't seen Nell, shame on you.
I've never seen Nell.
Shame on you.
Oh, okay.
It's Jodie Foster playing a wild woman.
I know exactly what it is.
Classic.
It's
I don't know.
into my conscious.
I don't know how it would play
brain.
today.
Oh, it wouldn't.
Yeah, it was at the time. It was considered groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Didn't she get an Academy Award for that?
Did she win?
She got nominated.
Yeah, I wasn't sure she won. So
this was the Forrest Gump era, so you can get away with playing characters like that.
Carrie Ann Camera. Played
by Kiernan Shipka.
By Kiernan Shipka. foreshadows in the dialogue with her. She foreshadows her own suicide by saying, "I'd chuck myself off a building if you told me to," and then she does it later as the shocker. But we get back to Carter's office again. Sweet, sweet Blair Underwood. Close the door. Put on the do not disturb sign because we got to work our case. Ruth, apparently, Ruth is her mom. Alicia Witt's character had called the police in 1974 to report what happened in the opening credits. Or not, you know what I mean? The opening scene. That weird encounter with Longlegs and young Lee. So he's like, why'd she call on this date? So this is what leads her to go back again.
It was on the 13th, and then the 14th is he's been killing families where the daughter has a birthday on the 14th.
But not always on the 14th.
He doesn't kill them on the 14th.
But they always have a birthday.
They
And it's
always
always their
have
9th birthday.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's because of numerology, which they get into specific, this is like an obsessive's dream, this movie. If you want to go down a rabbit hole, there's a lot of, it's very much like the Blair Witch Project in a lot of respects, where when that movie came out, a lot of viewers were obsessed with getting to the bottom of the story because so little was given to you in the actual film itself. And this is like that for me. I love how deep it goes, but, back to this is where you really get the idea of her, Ruth's house. And this is the first time you see Ruth since the kind of regular encounter she had with her daughter, but you start to see more and more the pack rat, the hoarding stuff, where everything is just kind of packed up. And you think that's the reason that maybe throughout their lives they were cut off from other people, because she talks about no one ever came to visit them until Longlegs did, and then he stayed forever. But but that's kind of like this hoarding thing. You always think like, why do people hoard? And I feel like it's tied into him being there too. Like I don't think people come to get the trash. Like it's like the haunted house in the neighborhood. Like some people just sense it, but she doesn't, because she's under the allure of the power of him still. And I find that really spooky. But when she has come back to to her mom's house, the mom says, and when they're talking, just the opposite of what she said in the phone call earlier, she says, all our prayers don't help us. And earlier she was encouraging her daughter to pray. So it's such a weird message to get from this character, but still they play it off as just kind of a fun, quirky, her mom's a little crazy moment, when really it's much darker than that. So she gets all of her things from her bedroom, her childhood bedroom, and takes them back to her cabin. And it's this huge boxes of stuff. And in one of them, she finds the Polaroid she took as a kid of Longlegs. And she has a little bit of a flashback. And we get, the explanation of her connection to him at that point. And she goes to Carter. She catches him on a jog. That's weird, right? She just pulls her car up and Carter is out jogging. And you're just like, where the fuck are we right now? Did she find him on the street?
Yeah.
And it adds a layer of like chaos to the moment where she shows him the Polaroid. He's just out exercising. And she shows him the Polaroid. And she's like, this is him. And he says, well, we're going to start a manhunt based on this Polaroid. She goes, yes, absolutely. And that's that in connection with, I think, the hardware store scene, Longlegs is ready to give himself up. So he packs up his little suitcases. And at this point, he reminds me of Tiny Tim.
Where's he going with those little suitcases?
He goes to the bus stop.
Yeah.
But he's already turned himself in.
Is he trying to run away, or does he realize that he can't run away?
He's turned himself in. He's waiting for the police to pick him up.
So why did he bring suitcases? You can't bring that shit to jail.
No, they said what was in them later that was full of satanic writings. There were all these loose pages of his writings.
You can't take that shit to jail?
Yeah. But he's not well.
He's not.
He's not well.
What gave it away? Was it him screaming "mommy" and "daddy" in the car when he was just driving by himself?
Mommy, daddy. I love that.
Okay, here's the thing. I remember we were talking about this movie with our friend Brandon, and that's when I kind of it flipped a switch in me when Branan was telling us why he didn't like the movie.
Yeah, he doesn't like that part either.
And he told us about this part, and Brandon did that money scream.
Oh, it's so funny.
And so that's when it kind of like, oh wait, that is kind of stupid.
It can go it can go either
A
way.
little too on the nose for me,
Like I laughed when I watched it with Amy.
You did.
And when we saw it in the movie theater, I thought it was unsettling. And the third time I watched it, which is a lot to watch this movie in your life, probably. But it really was chilling when I thought of him as the character and not as Nicolas Cage anymore.
Okay.
Once I think part of it was knowing he was supposed to be this glam singer, and then hearing him, whatever that singing was supposed to be in his car, you're kind of like, is this why his career didn't work out? Is this what he sounded like then? And he's just off the rails, crazy. And also he's got a weird bottle opener hanging from his rearview mirror that I could not make heads or tails of. But it helps establish later when she's driving his car, it's the same car. That might be the only reason it's there. But she finds the Polaroid. They start the manhunt, which doesn't last because he turns himself in, and they have him in an interrogation room in the basement, or I don't know if it's the basement, but
that's where Fox Mulder is
in the FBI building. And we're back there, and they're in that conference room from earlier, and they have like a AV cart, and it has a old TV on there. Well, new probably then in the 90s, but it's playing a VHS tape of his interrogation. And I didn't catch this till the third time, but it's real creepy. He's kind of explaining everything from it's like a Manson-esque kind of interview. And, but near the end of it, he does this thing where he says, "You'll be there and you'll be there." And I just realized on the third viewing, I don't know if I'm 100% right about this, but I think I am. He looks at all of the characters he's addressing in the room directly as they will be killed. Because he starts with the lady who drives her, the other agent who drives her to the end of the movie. And then she looks at Blair Underwood's character, and then she looks at Micah Moreau's character, Lee. And I just like on the third, I really appreciate that they bother. I think they did that on purpose, had his eye line go to the right places. That, or they just did some really great editing, one or the other. They probably had the video, I'm guessing, and probably directed the actors to stand in those spots after it was already done, would be my guess on how they did that. But I don't know. I was thinking of the logistics of it while I was watching it a bit. I love when she's like, they get done with the video, and the poor FBI agent, that her only other moment in the movie is to drive her basically to her death, says, he's here. He's right under your feet downstairs. And that's also, he was right under her feet downstairs the whole time.
She was at her mom's house.
And they talk about the man downstairs. They call the devil Mr. Downstairs.
Mr. Downstairs.
And all this stuff. And so they are constantly giving you clues through all the mad ramblings in the movie. Agent Browning, that's the one. Poor Agent Browning. She was there on the first scene she has with the Carter, where Micah Monroe, Lee, is in the back seat, and they're discussing he's briefing her on what the Longlegs case is. She's in that scene with them, but she feels like a character that should be a bigger character. Like if this were a longer movie, she probably would be more important. So, but it's still pretty shocking when she brings her to her mom's house at the end.
Mm-hmm.
In the third act.
To the end.
And the mom, Ruth, kills the driver with a shotgun.
Oh wait, you're going to mention that how Longlegs just smashes his face in, and
oh yeah, I skipped over that.
Yeah.
Doesn't he kill himself? Does he die?
Yeah, the in-person part of the after. Yeah, thanks, Andy. The interrogation room, they do the tape version, but then after Agent Browning tells her she's downstairs, there's the scene downstairs where she is in the room with him, and Longlegs gives her his version of the entire backstory of what's happening, and then
it's basically his like James Bond villain monologue where he gives everything away without really giving it away.
Definitely.
But then he just smashes his head over and over again into the table, which I thought was a well done scene. It's pretty
Yeah.
gnarly. We see his teeth come out and everything.
Yeah.
Very gnarly. Is this where he says "Hail Satan"?
They
Yeah.
add that at
And
the
then-
end too.
Oh, at the end.
Well, the mom says it in one of her scenes, and then he says it at the very end before the credits roll. And the face smashing scene, that's supposed to be the last. What happens is he's done with his part of his contract with the devil, supposedly, and the deal is that now he'll be everywhere if he can die now, and he'll be in all the dolls, I guess, which is a creepy fucking setup for maybe a sequel or something. If in a normal mainstream Hollywood movie, that would have been a setup for a sequel
Longlegs 2.
where he's
Much
controlling all the
leggier.
Longer legs.
dolls. Longer legs.
Longer legs.
So he has destroyed his nose is just gone, right?
Yes.
It's just blood everywhere, and he's smashing blood spraying all over her, even though she's against the wall across the room from him. And this drives a wedge between her and Carter. The fact that she was in the room when this happened, and he kind of seems to be holding her somewhat responsible for it.
I'm like, come on, dude. How is she going to stop that?
Right. Like maybe she instigated it in some way. Maybe he's thinking.
I think he was mad because he knew what a massive, when he realized everything, that they had this strong connection, that she was like a big trigger for him maybe or something. But he was pissed. Like, he really delivered a mad boss. Beautiful.
And also, here's the thing, Carter. You wouldn't have found it if it wasn't for her in the first place.
True.
So why are you getting mad at her again?
Oh man. So Longlegs is dead. Browning has driven Lee
And then
back to
she's
Ruth's
dead.
house. She's dead.
Mom's walking around with a shotgun.
We get the exposition dump from Ruth, the second dump. This is the second dump. We got Longlegs dump, and we're about to get a much meatier dump through flashback and dialogue from Ruth, which just says essentially,
She's been his thrall for all these years because that was the deal, so she could keep her daughter alive.
and she's the seventh one to do it,
Yeah.
which kind of reminded me of Let the Right One In. This idea of like the vampire having a different ghoul periodically. But I'm like, who are these other 7 servants that he's had? That's a loose end for me that is never fully addressed. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't hurt the movie.
That one didn't bother me.
Yeah. But I do like the idea that there is kind of like a satanic world building thing that happened underneath all of this story. Where, this idea of this cult, a real satanic cult with like direct lines to Satan, was somehow happening out in the Pacific Northwest. It's cool. I love Satanism. It's so fascinating. Like movie Satanism. The real Satanism is not as fascinating. Gets pretty boring once you get into it, but movie Satanism is the bomb.
I need to check your house for Freddy dolls.
You should.
Make sure there's no like Satan balls in your house anywhere.
So once Ruth is given kind of the vague explanation of what the dolls do, she blasts the Lee doll in the face with a shotgun, destroying that particular orb and freeing Lee from the influence of the devil.
So what comes out of the orb, the black mist? Is that her soul or something?
No, it represents the mind control. It's the
Okay.
visual representation of the ball controlling her mind. Yeah, it's literally a fog. So it's
Yeah.
like makes her forget things and blah blah blah.
But that's one of the things that kind of like a little too on the nose by visually representing the fog coming out of the ball.
I was so confused the first time we saw this, Andy, when that happened. I was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck just happened? And it took me a while to piece it together, honestly. I heard somebody compare it to a fart, which I thought was pretty funny.
You can't see farts though.
Yeah.
If only.
So after the doll's destroyed, that's the dam breaks memory-wise. And now Lee has remembered everything that she had forgotten.
It's a Celine Dion moment.
They should have
It's
played
all
that song.
coming back.
It would have made it so powerful. Yeah. So we get to see everything. We get to see the Ruth's weird servant thing that happens and all the murders she's involved in on some level or another.
And they go to a Ruth's Chris.
And you get to see Ruth bring, as part of that, you see her bring the doll to the camera farm. That's the Kieran and Shipka farm that we talked about. And
she dresses up like a nun to get them to let her. She's like, congratulations, we made you a fucking doll.
Longlegs did that by himself the first time. He's like, you want a prize from the church? And he's like, I think I could use a woman's touch here. People seem to be freaking out. That's what happened. That's why he needs a normal person to do it with him. Because he did it with her, and she's like, called the police, remember?
Right.
So that's why he needs a nun, a fake nun. So we get, after all this, because this knocked her out. It knocked Lee out, the experience of having her ball destroyed and her memory restored. She awakens, and what she doesn't know is Longlegs' lair in the basement of her mom's house. It's shot upside down, too, which is I like the choice that they did that. I thought it was is disorienting enough that when it went right side, I kind of realized where they plugged her. I didn't know right away. And knowing that she's in the room, with one of those balls and everything, it was like, ooh, we're in the Billy the Beast here. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's awoken and she realizes the phone's ringing in upstairs, and this draws her up from the basement, and now this part at least is completely cleared. Longlegs is in the basement this whole time, and the phone's ringing. Her mom is nowhere around. She picks up the phone, and it's like the devil pretty much directly addressing her and saying, you better get over to Carter's house for the birthday party. And she goes out and gets Longlegs' car and takes off in that, because I guess she doesn't want to have to clean up the FBI agent's brains from the other one. And she hauls ass to the Carter home, and that's where the really tragic finale happens. At a birthday party. She had no friends over, which was a good thing. But Lee shows up, and Carter and the mom warmly greet her at the door, and you think, okay, everything might be okay. This reminded me a lot of Exorcist 3.
Oh, but not when they walk in the room, because guess what's there?
Her mama. And a doll.
Giant fucking doll.
Looks just like Ruby.
Yep.
So,
shit hits the fan.
This is the creepiest moment in the movie is Blair Underwood and the one who played his wife. I wrote her name down, but I can't remember what it was.
Lady
Carter.
Jane Doe.
But they're both really great in this scene. And the line where he says, they're talking about the cakes being in the other room. Because Leah's tried to say, no, that's my mom. She's the accomplice. She's Longlegs' accomplice. And they're not hearing it because they're already under the influence of the doll. And the mom is very smiley and vacant, not necessarily there. He is very aggressive and on edge, and you feel like he's going to blow up at any moment. And he calmly goes into the kitchen with her to cut the birthday cakes and kills the wife.
But I like that line where they said they're going to go in the kitchen, and the wife is like, we'll be right back. And Blair Underwood says, no, I'll be right back.
Right.
You'll still be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, implying that,
Yeah.
I did like that line. That was pretty good. That was pretty creepy.
It's very chilling. Because you were saying how gorgeous he is. He is a person that you don't want to be evil, or you don't want to be afraid of him. Your instinct when you see his face is he's a warm person, and it's really unsettling to see him in this mode. And the mom is explaining, if we don't do this, you and I will burn in hell forever. That's the deal she made, was that both of their souls would belong to Satan if they didn't finish all the X number of killings. And Lee refuses to be part of that and shoots both the dad to death and her mom. And she goes to shoot the new doll in the head, and she's out of ammo. And they leave you hanging there, but they cut to Longlegs one last time in the interrogation room, and he says, "Hail Satan," and then we get more T-Rex to close it out. in reverse credits. Because that's like that whole play the music backwards Satanism shit.
Oh, okay. I just thought they were just being cheeky.
No, the whole thing is, it's a shame that they didn't do more to establish that he was a rock musician and that was his identity. And that's kind of why there's so much of the T-Rex in there. Is because he loves T-Rex.
Bang a Gong is a banger.
T-Rex is awesome all across the board. Even if Longlegs loves them, they're still a good band. Just because the serial killer likes them doesn't mean anything.
So there you go.
That's
Longlegs.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the appreciate all the exposition that you gave us, Freddy. But I can see why you like this movie more because of the lore that they built up. But for me,
thought I smelled a butt.
Yeah. When you have so many unanswered questions, like we said, it leaves you unfulfilled. Like, I need to know motivations and whys of certain things. When you set up so many things, I need some answers.
You want hard answers within the medium itself. You don't want to have to go outside of the movie.
Yeah. And like, I didn't even know what Longlegs is. Why is he called Longlegs in the first place? Do you know that one?
They like the sound of it. It really has no reason.
Okay.
But people have later said, and Osgood Perkins has said, yeah, that is a good point, that he makes creatures that have short legs. So he's the one that has the long legs.
Oh, okay.
All right.
But when you have so much lore and you leave that just like, hey, it was because we thought it sounded cool.
Yeah.
It's not very satisfying. And what was Longlegs' deal with the devil in the first place? Why was he doing these things?
That's a good question. My guess it would have something to do with his career as a musician.
Well, obviously that didn't work out because the devil.
Well, the devil doesn't. The deals with the devil don't work out. That's the whole warning of the story. Is like her mom also made a deal with the devil. You know, it didn't work out for her either.
But I think her reasons are more legit and understandable.
To protect her daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we understand what her motivation is.
Yeah.
But I don't understand Longlegs' motivation. And another thing, like all these specific things, you need to give me something to work on. Like, why is the number 14 so important? And, why the certain age of the girls and stuff like that.
You want that to be in the movie, someone in the movie saying, this is why he's doing this specifically, is these reasons.
Yeah.
I'm with Andy on that stuff.
Like Seven. Seven gives you that, I think. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I feel like Seven, when it was done, it made everything happen, made sense. Exactly. Like it all fit into what they were doing.
Yeah.
Timeline and everything.
It's fine to leave things unanswered, because that's what I really like about like a recent movie, Talk to Me or Bring Her Back. I don't need to know exactly what the origin of the hand is and how it got there, and I don't need to know exactly how Sally Hawkins got that video to do the ritual and what that cult is. I just need to know motivations.
Yeah, it's a tricky. I think that's a high wire act with creatives. With storytelling, like you'll see there's even actors that will write backstories, for their characters. It's pretty common practice. In some movies that the director might see that and be like, oh, I want to bring that into this and I don't want to bring that in, whatever really serves what they're doing. And it's like, this movie is like an hour and 42 minutes long or something, I think. And I
thought it moved at a good pace though. That's a plus.
And some people would find it boring. It's funny. Like I've talked to people who thinks the movie, or
I've been known to be bored by Osgood Perkins before, but I was not bored.
Yeah,
I will say that.
I'm a big fan of this, the Black Coat's Daughter, and the Monkey.
I like the Monkey quite a bit.
Yeah, he did an episode of the new Twilight
favorite.
Zone too. That's kind of fun, but it's not good. But it's fun. But it's not good.
It's not Osgood.
It's not as good as this.
Ah.
I mean, I appreciate what they were trying to do for sure. I have a lot of respect for him.
On Longlegs. Anything else
Yeah.
to say?
No, I appreciate that he has his own voice, but this one was not a hit for me because I did like Black Coast Daughter a lot. But that is one that worked better for me on subsequent viewings.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I saw it was a Horror Hound, and there was horribly uncomfortable chairs, and
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
slow burn movie, and a slow burn movie doesn't work in a festival setting.
That's how I knew it was good, is because my ass hurt, but I didn't want to get up.
Yeah, but when I watched it again, I did appreciate that a lot more. And the monkey is just a good time.
Oh, the
Yeah.
monkey's a blast. I'm really looking forward to this next movie. The cast has got me intrigued. It says it's just straight horror, but it looks, with the cast they have, I imagine there's going to be some comedy involved.
Yeah, I haven't seen. What was the one that he just did? The Keeper, is that one he just did?
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen that one, but our friends Jody and Chris, they said they liked that a lot.
Check it out.
Chickadee, check it out.
Check it out.
All right. Thanks so much. Next week is still a surprise.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know when we post the episode, then you'll know. All right. Time to move on to what we've been watching lately. What have you been watching lately, Freddy Morris?
Oh my God. I was like, I need something light after a psychological horror month.
Right.
So there's a new sitcom called The Fall and Rise of Reggie Jenkins. It comes out on the 23rd, but the pilot's out already on Peacock. It's the 30 Rock Kimmy Schmidt people. So I would say if you like those things, you're going to like this. It's the same kind of formula, but with, a different set of characters and a different entertainment field. So it's Reggie Dinkins as Tracy Morgan plays him. He was a football player in the NFL who got caught gambling, so he was disgraced, but he still had made a lot of money, so he's living pretty well because his ex-wife has been managing everything for him and doing a really good job of it. His best friend is Bobby Moynihan. Rusty Boyd is the character. He was the kicker for their team.
Bobby Moynihan.
He's so great. I love him. And then Daniel Radcliffe is playing this Arthur Tobin character who's a documentarian who had won an Academy Award, I guess, and is now trying to figure out the subject of his next documentary. So he's following him. So if you like that Modern Family style where they do the little talk to the camera stuff, or Parks and Rec is a good example, The Office. But if those were made by 30 Rock Kimmy Schmidt people, so it's got that sensibility of absurdity. So it's not like that where you watch The Office, Parks and Rec, and there's all this great improv happening. In this, it feels very crafted the way 30 Rock did.
Yeah.
It's on beats.
Yeah, I think-
comedy on beats. Yeah.
Yeah, this was like the Rock, like that approach is more outsized and comedic, more broad.
Definitely.
Like, I know like Office isn't realistic, but it's more grounded.
It is. Yeah. It feels real to in all the important ways. Like you're never gonna have a ghost turn up.
Yeah, and it's hard to have Tracy Morgan do a more grounded character because it's just Tracy Morgan. He's a great actor and comedian, but I think he's limited.
Yeah,
and this sounds like it's right up his alley.
It's perfect for him, and I'll support anything Bobby Moynihan does. I love him till death. Death. I think he's great.
There's this podcast I listen to with these Australian women, and they have this thing they call the pass basket, which means if somebody's in your pass basket, which it means that they can do no wrong in your eyes, even if in the future they do wrong.
Peter files and such.
No, not like that.
Oh, okay.
But So anyway, Bobby Moynihan is in your pass basket.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Bobby Moynihan is one of those like, hear me out. He's one of my hear me outs.
Oh yeah, is it because he's so cuddly and warm?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
He's adorable. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'd love to hug him.
And he wants to do more than hug him.
I know.
I think is what he's saying. He wants to kiss
Hear
those
him
lips.
out.
I just want to cuddle with him because
Yeah.
he's so adorable.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Seems like he'd be soft to cuddle with.
I remember not knowing what to think of him when he first appeared on SNL, like literally first appeared. And I was like, what? Was that the Night of the Black Pepper sketch?
No, that
That was
came
later, right? Yeah. But man, talk about somebody who hit the ground after SNL. In my opinion, I think he hit the ground running. Everything he did, super funny.
Good. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Is it an hour-long episode or one's a half hour?
Half hour.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an old school sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting.
So fun.
Mm-hmm.
How's Daniel Radcliffe in it? Like, I think he's a good comedic actor.
He has tons of charisma. He's also like Bobby Moynihan, very lovable. And he's great in this. He's just a young man you like to root for, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A young
what an adorable
man.
show.
He's in his 30s, mid-30s. This young man.
I left a lot of people out. There's a lot of guest stars from people like the Daily Show cast. A lot of people from the Daily Show pop up.
They must film it in New York.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Just like 30 Rock.
Just like 30 Rock.
Mm.
All right. Well, I'll go next because that's what I like to do typically.
She likes to go.
I do have to go. I haven't had to pee this bad in a while.
Are you going to talk about the people across the lake?
No. I fell asleep for that.
You fell asleep. You didn't catch much of that, did
Not
you? You
much
didn't
of
miss
that at
much
all.
either.
No, I want to talk about a little movie I watched called Night Shift. It's on Hulu. It came out a couple years ago. I recommend it, even though the ending kind of shit the bed mildly. It was a mild bed shitting.
Just a mild bed shitting.
It was a solid poop, so you didn't have to clean up too much.
Exactly. So yeah, Night Shift. It's on Hulu. Did I say that already? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It stars Phoebe Tonkin, who, if you look her up, you're like, oh yeah, I know her from stuff. But you would need to see her face to be like, oh yeah, I know her. And Lamorne Morris is in it from New Girl,
I love him.
and he was great.
And then Bobby Moynihan come over whenever they want.
Sure. They're always invited. It's about this lady who is embarking on her first night as a hotel night shift worker.
Motel.
I'm sorry, motel. A motel night shift worker. And it's Lamorne Morris is the owner of the hotel. Motel. Holiday Inn.
What was it called? It had a cute name.
All tucked in.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I? Oh yeah. So it's her first night. She gets the like spiel from Lamorne Morris. He leaves. Now she's there by herself. And then spooky things commence to happening. This movie got me a few times.
It reminded me of one of Kelley's short stories.
Right.
That's in All These Lonely Places about the hotel. I can't remember the name.
It's just
of it,
called
the
These
motel.
Lonely Places.
These Lonely Places. What did I say?
All These Lonely Places.
All These Lonely Places. Salon Dijon, my favorite. But no, there's a story that Kelley wrote that reminded me a lot of this.
So
Vice
is it like a
versa.
haunted? Is it like a haunted motel? Is that what the scary thing is?
I mean, basically.
Yeah.
Not entire. It's a lot more complex than that.
Yeah, okay.
Not a lot, but it is more complex. I don't want to give too much
Enough to
away.
be interesting.
Yeah, enough to be interesting. It was cute. It was fun till the ending mildly shit the bed.
So is it like a slow burn type movie?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of like The Innkeepers.
No.
Or,
A lot more jump scares, more going on.
Like Night Shift. Not night. It is Night Shift. What was the other? What was the one with the
Last
Shift? Thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I when you're talking about that, I thought of those two movies immediately. Like just the character by himself taking care of like this creepy place.
I think Last Shift is still much better than this movie, but I would say like I watched it with Amy and I really enjoyed being in the room for it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I was looking for something, and it was a good something that I found.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's the best movie ever. I did
the
say
ending
it
was
shit the bed.
predictable as shit.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
So yeah, Night Shift. Go watch it. Andy, what have you been watching?
This might be a recurring theme of me being part of that movie club and getting into a movie before my credits run out and watching movies I don't necessarily want to watch, but I have to because I don't lose a credit.
We'll call the segment "Money on the Table"
There you go.
with Andy Hung.
But I watched Wuthering Heights.
Oh,
yeah.
Again, like I didn't necessarily want to watch it, but like some things happened and like this was the only show that I could make. But I watched it and yeah, it's not from. Okay, here's the thing. It's just like some prefaces. I know it's not made for me. And it definitely comes from like a female gaze.
sure.
That's how they're approaching it. So take that with the grain of this review with a grain of salt. And I don't know the novel Wuthering Heights, so I have nothing to compare it to, if they're like true to the novel or anything like that. So that being said, I did not care for this movie, mostly because the characters are just so unlikable,
Right.
and it's supposed to be built as this grand romance, but this romance is toxic, and they're awful to each other and awful to other people.
Did they do
So
it? They did it as a period piece still, right?
Yeah, but it's anachronistic where it has like very modern touches and settings and costumes that don't fit the era.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So these characters are just awful to each other and other people, and it spills out into the world, and it's just a very miserable movie.
Oh wow.
But you finished it?
Yeah, I mean, I watched it.
Were you?
I was entertained well enough because of the visuals, and it's very I don't know. It can be. I wanted to see how it ended, but I didn't want them to have a happy end.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's like a kind of a tragic love story, so it's obviously they're not gonna have a happy end, but you don't feel anything. It's unearned. The ending, like you these characters' fate is all of their own doing, and so like when he has this big moment at the end when he's like crying over his lost love, you don't feel anything because these people don't deserve a happy ending.
Right.
Yeah. Did you cheer when at the end when they die? You're like, woo! Mommy!
Yeah, it was real awkward in the theater. But like I did some after I got home, I was like, this sucked. That didn't suck. It was a 5 out of 10. So like I was just confused at how true this was to the novel. So I went on Wikipedia and read the synopsis, and this movie is basically only half of the book. So like what you see, like the setup for like the resolution of, you know, the next generation breaking the cycle of being people being awful to each other and deciding not to go in that direction. And it was just interesting that the first half is built as this laying out the toxicity and the awfulness, and the second half is laying out the resolution. But when you focus on just the first half where all the awful people are doing their awful things, you're not invested because they're awful people.
Can I ask what they do that's so awful? I've never read the book either.
God, I read it a million years ago.
Yeah, just the way they treat other people and the way they talk to each other. It's she's always like playing hard, like she's giving both of them. They give these big declarations of love and how they would die for each other, and the next second they're like, "Fuck you, go away," type of thing.
So they play head games with each other.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to enjoy that, like, and feel that that's romantic when we watch them do that with each other. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
that's like in the 80s we were bad for that too, like where you'd have the two characters butting heads until they're in bed together all the time, you know.
But those have like
good soundtracks,
character development, and these people just remain awful throughout the whole movie. They don't realize that they're being awful, then decide to change. They're awful throughout the whole movie and never really.
Yeah,
their characters are just static.
They're like aristocratic type characters, right? Aren't they? Yeah, high class.
Yeah. And it's like very upstairs, downstairs type of things going on too. And another thing that was like really bothering,
Bothering Heights.
Wuthering Heights. Well, like this side character, she willingly goes into like this dom sub relationship with the main character Heathcliff.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with those type of relationships, but they're coming at it from different perspectives.
Yeah, because
She's
Heathcliff just
doing it-
wants to terrorize his neighborhood.
Yeah, she's and I was eating fish bones.
Yeah.
But she's consenting to this, but he is straight off the bat says like, I'm doing this to make somebody jealous and I'm going to be awful to you. Do you still want this? And she says yes.
Take what I can
But
get.
yeah, but it's fine to have it like, you know, one dominant character, a dominant person in the relationship and one some more submissive, but they're coming at it from inherently unequal positions because she's in it willingly, but he's doing it to get back at somebody else. So that kind of really bothered me that he's torturing this woman to get back at somebody else and not because he's getting like equal pleasure from it than the character that's in this relationship.
Dude, these same tropes are all in 80s comedies too, and like 90s too, where there's the third person that is just there to make another person jealous. It's really cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cruel idea.
Yeah. But the way it's handled, it's like, so there's no like, it's a little too self-serious for my taste too. Like it'd be okay to have these people be awful to each other. Like if it was like handled like more like Cruel Intentions or something like that.
Yeah. Wink and a nod.
Yeah. But when these characters, when it's billed as this grand love story that spans ages and time, it's just seems disingenuous to me.
Needed more Sarah Michelle Gellar.
What?
Yeah.
She was in
Cruel Intentions.
Cruel Intentions. Thank you.
Yeah. But look nice and fun soundtrack, but just as it's just bad writing and script. So
Emily Bronte, what are you going to do? I don't think she's going to have much of a career after this.
she did.
Ooh, she did.
I say you, she did.
She been did.
Ooh,
for
this
a
is a
while.
big episode.
This was a meaty one. Alrighty, everybody. Since I'm starving and I have to pee, we're gonna end the show.
I'm going to drink my own piss, but I'm going to mix it with protein powder. That's why.
Wow.
Because you're starving.
I'm not.
And you have to pee. 2 birds, 1 stone.
At the end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs. Patreon.com/NOTLP, where you go to find out more. Matt, Branan and Emily, Dr. Brian, Old Dirty Bill Stirred, Bill Fahrner, Blayne Yogurt, Jordache Jeans, Monica, Ernest, Dave, and Shayna Bobena.
Oh, thank you guys.
I love you all.
Thank you. Love
Thanks
All
for listening.
Mommy! Bye.
Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead. And Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London on 4 legs, while high above him Ellen Ripley finds some funny eggs. And Freddy laughs at Nancy in her nightmares as she begs to have just one more